ecosystem merging Mastery Monday after Magic. I can sit here and talk about the largest ecosystem merger. I can sit here and talk about more money, less time with more magic. But what I really want to talk about as we lead into Sean, and we just hopped off our Unblinded Huddle, is all of you, and say thank you. I want to start this morning with gratitude and say thank you. Thank you for all of you that are here. Thank you for all of you that were there this weekend. Thank you for all of you who did things that none of us saw in service of Unblinded, you and other people. We are so thankful for all your energy, and best believe that we are not confused that this weekend would have not happened if it was not for every single one of you. So as we tune into Sean, I hear some beeping in the back. So can you please mute yourself? You might think you're muted. Please mute yourself if it's possible. And before I continue and open it up to our movement and our ecosystem, Sean, are you there with us? All right, so let's, he's finishing up with the team. We were having a very, very passionate, heartfelt conversation. So I'd like to flip it to all of you. And if we can please, I know there's much to share, and I want to give Sean and the rest of the team their opportunity to let you know about the future and where we're going. So in like 15, 30 seconds, and if you can narrow it down to like 3 words, what are some feelings? What are some thoughts? What are some breakthroughs that you had this weekend? And if you're new to the group, I'd love to hear from you first. I know there's a lot of leaders in here who are passionate, compassionate, want to share everything that went through for them. But this is about, the new, this is about the bloodline, this is about the growth of Unblinded and your wins and your magic. So who are some new members that would like to share what they're present to and what they experienced this weekend? So please, this is a microphone. This is your microphone. Who would like to share first?
Can I share?
Hello. Oh, go ahead.
Hey, it's Reba.
Hi.
Okay. I was very skeptical, and I learned to just literally, like, when I just clicked that it's unblinded, and I learned to just trust what I don't know and go in, and that if I don't do something, and if I don't do something I don't know, then I'm not going to have any options. So I need to go after things that I might not believe in, because that's where my options lie.
That's incredible. Hey, what's happening, Sean? So that was Liba. That was Liba. Liba, L-I-B-A, I believe. Liba. Yes.
Liba, thank you.
Yes.
Listen, and I think I heard you say that you might have to go with things you don't believe in. And that's a longer story for offline. But I would say that is definitely not the way to live in short-term runs, perhaps, to get to a place you have to get to. But there's no way that your only options in this life are to engage in, or anybody, and do things you don't believe in. And you're amazing and powerful, and there's a formula to get you there. And with that said, everybody, thank you and good morning to the Unblinded community and world out there and movement. This has been a remarkable 3 days, and I have immense gratitude for everybody in this phone call, being on this phone call right now. Tiffany, let's just go mute across the board. It's always *6 to unmute yourself, I believe. So I just want to say that this is an interesting moment. But let's start with the fun and excitement first. Anybody ever share something that was like just fun, like funny, utterly ridiculous, like exciting? Like for me, like it was kind of fun being in a room and have like dogs barking during a seminar. Like that's never happened. Like hearing like dogs barking. And I've never been in a seminar where somebody came back to the green room and was like, listen, I got to go get mats for the dogs. Like that was fun and ridiculous. Anybody else have anything that they thought was fun, exciting, unique, special, not heartfelt? Let's say it a heart for a minute. Let's just go fun, silly, and ridiculous.
A little silly when they
have to
shushed
bring
Jared.
Go ahead, Jay.
When Jared got shushed by the whole crowd, I found that to be a little amusing. I apologize, Jared. Right. I did not participate in Jared.
I was going to put you on mute. I had a feeling you were going there.
That was hysterical. Yeah, I wanted to add to Michael Crouppen, his little splashes of inappropriate jokes, in his story were hysterical. I just love that. Like he sucked us in with his story, and then all of a sudden it was just this little, like, it was just another icebreaker of, of connection and getting somebody to laugh like that just from the gut. And so I love that.
And who just said that?
Catherine Levine, Jay's wife, Ziggy's daughter.
My goodness,
Catherine, for you. That's amazing. Thank you. That was very funny. And Jay, note to file that was Catherine's favorite joke and moment. Interesting.
Yes.
And Sean, when you said if somebody walks into the end of that, this is Craig, by the way, when you said if somebody walked into that and wasn't ready to hear the inappropriateness because they weren't up to the emotional rapport with him yet, Tia was actually out of the room for Mike's story, and she walked in at the joke. So,
oh my God, amazing. Well,
so
that even reveals
I wonder
more.
where that even comes out.
That's amazing. Anybody else have anything fun and exciting? And Craig, your energy was infectious.
I love when Marianne just started jumping up and down and got the whole crowd crazy wild.
Who's this?
This is Leva again. I like to talk.
Leva, awesome.
But when Marianne just got the crowd wild after Darcy spoke, or Marcy, I forgot her name, that was very powerful for me especially.
Yeah, right? It was so, because what's amazing is how you can just feel energy and dynamics, because we covered all the other three energies with the other fine, amazing women right before that. And I was going to Marianne for fun. And even before I got there, she explodes off the couch and starts going. It was so perfect. Wow. And it was like, it just worked, because that's exactly where I was going next. And she beat me to it, which was so beautiful and perfect. And that's exactly why I brought Marianne up there, was to have that happen. She is dynamic and fun and exciting and crazy and cool, and like I knew that was coming. And yeah, so I was so excited that all that happened. So thank you for that, Leva. Rob, what were you going with, brother?
That was Mike, actually. Hey, Sean, Mike Christian here.
Mike.
Yeah, I have to say, Fernando's last selfie was fabulous. For a lot of us that were at Date with Destiny, we did not know the backstory, and that was just hilarious. And Fernando, I love you, brother. That was at your expense, but.
Hey, Mike, can I ask this, right? Do you think, honest from your heart, that helped in Fernando's vulnerability and those things? Do you think that helped everybody see Fernando in an enhanced light and felt more connected to him?
Absolutely. I can say I certainly did.
Yeah, awesome. Because, it's funny, like, we live in a world, I shouldn't say that. It is easy for many to have the perspective of, like, posturing and like what you want to be. And I spoke this weekend about the jury verdicts and trials and all my experience with assessing feedback of humans. So if you've never had the privilege and opportunity to sit in a room where people don't know you're listening, and to hear them talk about you, talk about people that you care about, talk about witnesses, talk about ideas, concepts. I've had the opportunity to do that on dozens of occasions. And so it's remarkable. It is incredibly remarkable to see how people think, what they think, and what happens. And I've learned an extraordinary amount about vulnerability, about openness through those processes, because like the heroic, unique identity dynamics are not just things that I've learned about from standing, reading books. I've heard humans countless times. And so the dynamics, I just want everybody to know this, everything we're doing up there is only going to continue to get better and become enhanced. And a lot of what we just did was wild and powerful and adding value and having fun, but it was also like a mock trial. It was trying out different elements. And just this is for your own edification. With that group, we were serving so many different interests. There were people that had vast experience going to seminars. There were people that had no experience going to seminars. There were people who had experience going to seminars where people yell, scream, jump, and dance. There were people that were there who had experience going to seminars where people sit stoically and quietly and the energy is like a math class. So it was a mixture of so many different viewpoints, perspectives, and interests. And then I was showing different things. I was showing extensive amounts of content. I showed extensive amounts of exercises. I showed extensive amounts of fun and silliness. We showed extensive amounts of heart and aspiration. We showed extensive amounts of Zeus. We literally were in the formula. And we're in the formula in service of this weekend, in service of people and breakthroughs, and in service of learning going forward. So if you really sat back and analyzed what happened, there was massive innovation. There was massive different tests and accesses. And thank you. Like, thank you for your energy. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for being involved in a heartfelt, loving, unbelievably incredible weekend that was also an experiment. It was science. It was magic. It was love. It was friendship. It was math. It was breaking through. It was exponential. It was all of it in one shot at an unbelievable launch that every single person, even if they came because they said I can come for an hour.
That question, honey.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And it was, guys, you're unmuted. Somebody's unmuted. I think you're thinking you're muted. Two people are chatting. So much of this was all of that. So what else? What else was fun and exciting for you? Like, we'll stay there and then we'll move into like some different. So fun, exciting, one more.
When you told your mom you're not going to fall off the stage.
And the dogs barking was one thing. What I thought was great was that the dogs barked anytime people all said yes. All of a sudden you heard a dog in the bark go woof. he like agreeing, yes, answering the questions that everybody's bringing up on stage. I thought that was awesome.
That is absolutely fun. Any more?
Dennis Rodman. Funny one. I have a quick funny one. It's Rob.
Yeah, hey Rob. Well, let me drop in a Brad. So no, I want to hear Brad. Brad for everybody is the Dennis Rodman of sales, dubbed that way by Rob Gill, and he's out of his mind. So Rob, cut.
Definitely the Dennis Rodman. And by the way, Dennis Rodman is a Hall of Fame basketball player that won 5 championships and literally changed the course of the Bulls dynasty in the last 3 years. Just so I don't want anyone to picture the current Dennis Rodman when I say that. I want you to picture the all-star Dennis Rodman that changed disruption in basketball. Anyway, my whole time I was on stage, I kept telling myself, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to. Every single – and I didn't want to have Sean feel like he had to make me cry because then I would have cried, right? So I just can't. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. Day 3, I'm behind the stage, and Sean's mom comes up to me, and we've just kind of going through my journey with Sean. And like a 5-year-old little kid, I was bawling in her arms. So Sean didn't make me cry, but his mom made me cry. So that was like a funny story that I was sharing with my team. And I
didn't make you cry. You cried with me at least 5 times this weekend. What are you talking about?
No, on stage. I meant on stage.
You weren't supposed to tell me.
On stage, brother.
That was our secret.
Yes. Right. So thank you for that. That is super fun, awesome. How about this? What was
when I was little was waterfalls, just so everybody knows.
I actually appreciate all of the raw and the tears. It just makes it more genuine, and like I think on some level we're all able to connect on that deeper level with, when you expose yourself and you become vulnerable, like I think you get more people's attention too. So I really appreciated those breakdowns, those tears, because it really helped it solidify that this is real, and this is what's happening around us, and we all have to take it in and learn. And when you allow yourself to be that vulnerable, like magic happens.
Yeah, and as we talked about, Catherine, right? And Jared very appropriately touched on, we don't have to like make people cry to sell and be successful, but people crying is evidence of depth of connection. And there's different types of sales that need less depth, and there's times that people are buying things that their life depends on, and we need more depth. And there's times we're merging ecosystems, and it's a quick thing, like, hey, you want to shoot a video, less depth. And there's times we're talking about merging ecosystems and people going all in, and we need a lot more depth. So the ability to connect, and now we're moving into the goddess energy, part of our little recap. The ability to connect at the highest level and in our hearts is a strength and ability and skill of mastery that when we have it, it only dramatically increases our money, time, and magic, period. And we don't need it to make a living. We don't. But it certainly gives us more access and power. And the ability to make people feel is why we won those jury verdicts, why we collected $400 million. And quite frankly, because I was going to tell this story and we never got around to it, why when I've been less connected to our medical revenue recovery division at Cal Law, and some folks that are less goddess energy driven have had less acceleration and growth and connection with clients that are, we have clients that are thrilled with the services, but have left us because they didn't feel enough love. Like, that's real. So you could be doing everything right with your clients and they'll leave if they don't feel the love, if that's a need of theirs. And by the way, it is for most people because most people don't get that love at home. So anybody else have just a couple quick ones, single moment where you felt love, goddess energy, presence, empathy, just like flowing connection in the moment at the highest level?
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean.
Yeah. Yes.
This is Chris Young. How are you?
Chris, how are you, brother?
Good, man. Good. Hey, I had a breakthrough for me that probably wasn't intentional, but maybe it was. You know, I deal with pretty. It's always challenging for me when somebody gives you a compliment. And what I took away from this weekend, I mean, in addition to so many other things, but you know, obviously people were giving you many compliments and Jared and the rest of the team. And the way that you received the compliment to me was game changing. It was more of very simple, sincere thank you. I appreciate it. I love you. And now let's move on. And to me, that was, again, I don't think it was intentional, but for me, that is something that resonated dramatically because I tend to get very awkward with compliments.
Yeah. Okay, so real quickly, that's a beautiful access. Chris Young was the economic damages expert on both our 2 top 100 national jury verdicts. I will say this, there is nobody better what this man does. And we don't have the Arizona jury verdict without him. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, that's for real. Okay. Number one, it's like nobody better. And we would have won the case and got no money if it wasn't for Chris figuring out how to appropriately quantify our client's damages. Wildly complicated. Now, Chris is also somebody who I would say would not be somebody running around the goddess energy. And the more access there is to that, there's massive value. And that's a longer, more complex conversation with everybody for a different day and more the depth of content from the weekend. I will also add this. I have difficulty and had difficulty, Chris, I can't believe you just said this, receiving. We call that having this, okay? And so when we do our entire self-mastery 3 days, we will go into having this at depth, and our ability to receive is critical. I don't like still, or it makes me uncomfortable when people give to me. So thank you for seeing that I've grown in that area, but I still have a long way to go. When people give me cards, when people give me gifts, it takes a lot because I reflexively feel responsible to do something beautiful right back for them because I love people and I want to I always want to be what I say on the long side of giving. So I have some growth in that area as well. So I connect with you on that, brother. Where I've gotten to, at least on my scale of mastery and my receiving happiness, is to realize, one, that it's okay to receive. And if there's no exchange of value, then like, what are we doing? And second, I'm depriving people, I'm very clear, on allowing them to give to me. So like, I was the guy always paying for the check. I still am the guy who's usually paying for the check. And, you know, I was, you know, recently away and got to meet Mona's family. And like, I was like, nobody's paying for anything. And, you know, Mona reminded me, she's like, my dad wants to pay for the check because he wants to feel like a man and wants to give. And so like our ability to not receive is depriving other people of that.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's even more support. Make sense?
Yeah, it's really, really good, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and that includes an acknowledgement and being genuinely present to it and giving people, the gift of receiving their acknowledgement. Awesome. Anybody else? Goddess moment. Thank you, Chris. That was beautiful. Goddess moment. Anybody else?
I found my home.
I'm sorry? Hello?
That was Brad, Sean. I found my home at Unblinded.
Love you. Love you, brother. And you are home. You are home. All right. So with the goddess seeming complete, anybody have like an aspirational moment, like a going forward, like going to this dream, towards this thing? Anybody want to have a share of a moment that they felt that energy, felt inspired, and moved forward somewhere?
Sean, this is Brian Cox. How's it going? I'm going to apply a partnership with you. Hey, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Thank you. When Mike Crouppen was sharing how when he came home and he told his mother that, he's like, Mom, I'm never coming home. And I related to that in like 3 or 4 periods in my life. And it was inspiring to me because I felt like it was me leaving home to join the Navy, joining Platinum Partnership, and just having that bravery to pursue what I wanted to do for success. And then he followed it right up with an erection joke. And I was like, holy shit, I'm crying and laughing at the same time. It was just so many points at once, and you're talking about like masterful storytelling, like it was one of those pause moments. You couldn't break the train, So I was just so thankful to meet someone that I'd never heard of. I mean, I didn't talk to him, but to feel like I literally connected with him while he was telling that story, and he hit me right between the eyes. It was just beautiful. So it was inspiring to me, and to see all of his energy on the stage, that's what I want to be when I'm older, right? I don't want to be old. I still want to be vibrant and alive, and then have that twinkle in my eyes. So that was wonderful.
Yeah. And that brother, I mean, that man's never getting old. And Brian, for a couple things real quick, please. First, thank you for your service to our country. Thank you. Yeah. And thank you for, our ecosystem partnership and Tony Robbins' beautiful Platinum World. I appreciate that. Thank you for being there.
Thank you.
And thank you for that beautiful share. And let's go co-create and make magic happen together. And yeah, Mike Crouppen from nowhere in the mountains of Virginia. And I don't mean, nowhere as a human being, but I mean nowhere economically, to be where he is, and the massive giving and contributions that have come. And he left out one, but, left out many details. We don't get to tell our entire story. But Brian and everybody, Mike, every year he was in college, and when he was at that prep school, he stayed there for Christmas Day because he had at least a meal there Christmas Day and a shower instead of going home. So, that was Mike Crouppen's journey, and he earned everything. That brother earned everything he has. So thanks, Brian. Final. Yeah, thank you. So Zeus moments. Any Zeus moments where you felt that energy, that access that you really appreciate and connected to? Zeus moments.
When Chris Crone was on stage, excuse me, I have no voice. When Chris Crone was on stage, he was pretty electrifying. So that was definitely a memorable moment for sure.
Yeah, no, I listen. I love Chris, and Chris and I have done some magical work together, and he is nothing but a brother. Because to jump on an airplane and come out and do what he did, and Chris has built such a beautiful income stream off of online that he never has to leave his house. He's got nothing to do but sit back, and that was in service of and love, and he's so gravitationally pulled towards what we're doing. And it was really funny because when Chris and I first talked, Chris and I's first together was when we beat that gentleman in that room. So Chris and I were teamed, and Chris trusted me. I said, I'm going to write this thing, let me go. And we built our relationship on trust from day one. And then when I went out of his house, I told him, we're going to go do this thing. This is what I'm going to go do. And I think he thought I was a little crazy. And, he's not confused anymore. And I love him. And that's why he jumped on an airplane. And that's why I jump on airplanes for him. And that's what integrity is about. Ecosystem partnership is about. And with that said, one more Zeus moment, and I'm going to jump in, and then we'll wrap in just 5 minutes.
Sean,
Anybody have any other?
Craig. I wanted
Craig, go ahead.
I wanted to just say it was sort of like a culmination of all the four energies, especially the Zeus, but it was what I shared with you in the back of the green room after day 2, was that I spent so much of the weekend, unfortunately, missing so much of the content because of all the people that had come out that I knew were only going to be there for a few minutes that I wanted to introduce to others. And there were so many people that got those introductions that I was so grateful to watch. But in particular, when I told you how the first day I walked in, and every time I walked in the room, I was ready. I was almost brought to tears just watching it happen. But even more so, every single time a piece of content was shared with the room, I saw almost every single person in the room turn to their neighbor and not only embed it and not only take it in, but also literally turn to them and say, this is who I am now, and this is how I will show up in every interaction. Every piece of content brought every person in that room to a new level in their life. And I saw that everyone jumping up and down and having fun, and I saw everyone having that aspiration of what could be in their lives, and everyone having that goddess and love for each other and for the movement and for the room and for you and everybody on stage, and that Zeus energy of this will be life going forward. And that was my greatest takeaway from the entire weekend. So just want to express out loud my gratitude to everybody on the call for this. So thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you. And won't anybody other Zeus moment? One more we have time for. If anyone wants to jump in, one more Zeus moment. That Ben Fox, what's up, brother?
So for me,
Tiffany, just mute everybody. Everybody, mute real quick. Just please, if you're not muted, we got a little bit of feedback coming. But the Fox, what's up?
Fox, good morning, Sean. Amazing weekend. I love you. Thank you so much. I'm working on
Ben. You did remarkable things, and we're gonna have a beautiful moment in a second. Go ahead, Ben.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Everybody. I want to tell you guys, I'm working with Sean, and he's coaching me up. I have a lot to learn. That being said, it's an honor to have been in this ecosystem and the people that, just because I'm standing next to you, Sean, sometimes, I actually pretty much every time I'm standing next to you, I meet people that, we're all legendary, but I meet people that without them having to tell me, I just have heard amazing things that they've done. And I'm like, wow, thank you for what you've done in this world. That being said, I saw them on the stage. Here's a Zeus moment. Because I bet, like David Dean, okay? That guy's amazing. Yep. I got to hear, I know what he's done in this world. And when you were able to work with him, Zeus breakthrough moments. When you got Scott Tennant, legendary man, and you help him find the strength for his story, that it's like whenever that man goes anywhere, he has power. But what you taught him, I don't want to, Scott Tennant, you are the man if you're listening. But listen, Sean, I don't mean to say like you taught anybody a lightning bolt because they didn't know it before, but you gave them this access to it on demand. And I watched you do it. And like Kirk Adams, this legendary man, I watched you interrupt these guys. And this is what's incredible, everybody, that trust and that love. And you created that magical stage where that was appropriate to do. And it was for a purpose. And now I understand what it means to drop a lightning bolt. So love you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And love you. And stay with me for a sec. So we're going to be rounding the bend and taking it home here. I said it on our group team call this morning. I'll say it to everybody here now. The opportunity, the magic begins today, and so does the danger. The danger is that was entertaining, exciting, inspirational, and fun, and it ends. The danger is everybody having 57,000 different ideas of what happens next and every different voice in the world, and here's what happens next. Here is what happens next. Each of us takes the formula and adds value to the lives of others and adds value to our lives. That's what happens next first. Second, what happens next is we start planning the next major event, and we distill down and decide how, when, and what exactly. Third is we make sure that we start training up people to build stages, to have microphones everywhere around America and the world. 20 people stages, 10 people stages, 30 people stages through the mastery program. Because that's how people earn their money, their living, everything. Rob Gilt doesn't make money doesn't make money as a coach and trainer by teaching people how to make more money, but he makes more money by teaching people how to make more money because of the formula. And if you're confused of what I just said, it's like this. Rob isn't a paid unblinded trainer, but Rob goes out and teaches business people about the formula, inspires them, challenges them, and they become his clients. That's where we're going and headed. And that needs to be happening in hundreds and thousands of places every morning. Like this huddle needs to be duplicated live all over the country and the world. Are you ready to take that on? Like, are you personally ready to take that on? Are you ready to become that speaker on stage? Develop your skills. And if you are, start shooting videos today. Videos are how you will improve your public speaking skills. Shoot videos, post them wherever. We'll also post them in the Unblinded movement. Get videos out there. Make yourself better. Start interviewing people on camera, because your ability to go from hello to yes with human beings will be dramatically enhanced by you public speaking. Get your voice out there. My voice was out there. Thank you. I am grateful. I am appreciative. You need to speak 1,000 times this year. You need to speak 1,000 times this year. A video is a speaking engagement. Speak 1,000 times this year. You speak 1,000 times this year, you have no idea what the money, time, and magic, what's going to happen in your life. I'm immensely grateful. And before I'll do a final wrap up, Jared, anything you want to share, brother?
Well, first off, wow. I mean, I want to honor the Unblinded team once again. And I shared this just on our previous call, but this team had one singular focus for like 4 to 5 weeks, because that was the length of time that we went from we're doing this to like we did it. And to see a group of people commit to the level that they did, it's almost unmanageable. This is, I said this, like the 4-minute mile, and it might even be a sub 4-minute mile, what they pulled off. But what's even cooler about that, because we just had our Unblinded huddle prior to this huddle, is what this event meant to them. When I say all in, it doesn't even come close to expressing the sentiment and the commitment of this team. So I'm sharing that with all of you because you're in our movement, and the team is obviously instrumental inside of that movement, and we are absolutely all in. So our ask of you is just keep matching our energy, as we will match yours as well. And we will absolutely, this is no hype, this is real, we'll change the world by making sales fun, exciting, and magical for every single person on the planet. On like the administrative side, we're going to be sending out surveys today. Please spend like 2 to 3 minutes and answer the questions honestly, because this was just the first of many, many wonderful events, adventures, opportunities, ways to intersect, co-create. So please spend 2 to 3 minutes on that survey. And if you joined Mastery, many of you have, just get ready for a wild and crazy 6 months with us. It's going to be beyond epic. We'll start getting some details towards the middle of this week. We just need to get ourselves organized. I love you all. I appreciate you. And what we always say is together we achieve more. And that is absolutely 100% the case for Unblinded.
Jared, thank you. And thank you for everything you did, Adam did, Fernando, Tiffany, Krista, Nicole, Mona, remarkable. And the list goes on. Kelly, Hannah, just like Darcy, like Kelly, just total insanity and service. Darcy, incredible. And incredible because you had the courage to speak truth, the courage to hit innovation moments. Just unbelievable, the things that transpired. And I could not thank you to my son Tyler. He was feeling physically ill the couple days going into the event, and I was like, Ty, like, you don't have to do this, but it's all good. Like, and he's like, no, there's no way I'm not doing this for you and for Unblinded. And I think it was a huge access point what he did. So yeah, Lily, you know, Martha, I mean, just Katie, like craziness. So thank you all, and for every single person whose name I didn't mention, it is everyone. I could not be more grateful for everything that we did. And the game begins now, and we have to stay together. We have to stay together and realize that this platform being built and ecosystem expanding equals everybody wins. And you building your own platforms within the platform. Everybody wins. There's not one stage. There's not one. This weekend there was one. Everybody has the ability to open a stage where you are. Everybody has the ability to open a stage where you are. Let's start building your stage today where you live, where you are. And if you're confused about that, we'll be talking more about it tomorrow, and we will unconfuse you. Build your stage. Let's go. Thank you. I love you. I couldn't be more grateful. Unblinded movement is on. Thanks.
Let's go.
We love you, Sean. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank
Challenge
you.
accepted.
Have a great one, everyone.
I like that.
Much love.
Challenge accepted. Thanks,
This is
everyone.
what
Thank
it
you.
looks like. Age. Don't.
Lighty business.
I just love how he recapped it instead of the inspirational. Like people started.